Hi, this is Scott with eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at and installing our Roadmaster base plates for our 2025 Chevy Silverado. If you're thinking about doing a flat toe, there's quite a few things you're going to need. You're going to need your base plate kit, and that's going to be what hooks up to your tow bar. You're going to need your tow bar system, which we have here. That's an absolute must. You're going to need your battery disconnect, which disconnects your battery while you are flat towing. And you're going to also have to have a braking system, whether that's air or electric. This one runs on air, so that's the system we have installed on this one. Another thing you're going to need is also your safety cables. You got these attached down here. We're going to need those, so we have those. And then you're also going to need your diode wiring. What that's going to do is going to make all of your lights work in the back that you're going to have to keep it legal, and also you have your indicators in the back so the people behind you can see, and that's what we have plugged in right here in the front. Taking a look at our base plates, these are going to be pretty straightforward. These are going to mount right into where your tow hooks come out of, and basically come out of the same pocket that your tow hooks will. This is basically going to come with these removable arms in the front, so you're going to have those with it, and this is absolutely essential if you want to do some flat towing. As far as install goes for all of our components for our flat tow, it is really involved. It took me 3 days of solid working to get this thing all together. It is something that it can be a bit daunting, but you can do it if you just stick to a component and then finish it out and then move on to the next. If it's something you really don't want to mess with yourself or you don't have time, you can always take a look at our dealer locator and get something done locally, or you can stick around and watch our video and we'll help you get everything all installed. To start our installation, we're going to need to remove our catch for our hood. We have two T15 star bits. We're just going to go ahead and get those out of the way. Now we need to remove this, and we're just going to take a screwdriver and take it and work our little pop clips out. You may have to wiggle those around a little bit to get those to pop out, but just work our way around and we'll get them all out. We can remove our panel. We have 4 10mm bolts along the front of our fascia we need to remove. Under each one of our fender wells, we're going to have 5 T15 star bits. We need to get all those removed. Those are all going to be mainly right here in the front. Down on the inside of our fender, we're going to have 3 7mm screws right down in the top that go down into the top of our fascia from our fender. What we're going to do is we're going to back those off and just loosen those. And we have 2 plastic clips down there. We need to push those in and get those to pop down, both of those. But we won't be removing the screws. We're just going to leave those in place, just get them loose. Now, moving along our panel, this section is all going to come off separate. So we are carefully just popping this loose across our edge. Once we get it popped loose, we can set it aside. Below our grill, we have 3 10mm bolts we need to get removed. The trim panel tool, we're going to get right behind here and just carefully pop that out. Make sure we're good on both sides. In behind our grill, we just want to make sure we pull back on these sections. Just pull up and back, move it across, and we can get that moved out of the way. On our passenger side, we have our wiring harness. We just want to pull back on our red tab, push down on our red tab, and And we need to release this harness. There we go. Behind our red tab, just push down on that part and pull this apart here. What I'm going to do is take our clip tool and I'm going to break loose our little holder and just move that out of the way for now. Underneath our bumper, we have 4 10mm bolts. Go ahead and get those removed. Now we have a 15mm bolt right down here on the bottom of our bumper mount. We'll have 2 of those, 1 on each side. We have our little clips in behind this piece of flap that goes over the top of our bumper. We need to remove all of them along the back so we can move this part out of the way so we can access these bolts on the top of our bumper. With all of our clips out, we can just remove this part and get this guy out of the way. We need to remove this bolt here, this one, and then we have the 2 down here, and we can move our bumper out of the way. And carefully lift our bumper out of place. Right underneath here we have a clip we need to remove on both sides. Now with that, we can move these out of the way. On our driver's side, we have our 3 bolts right here in the front of our bumper plate. We want to make sure and trace around these so we can line these up with our bolts and washers when we put this back together. This is going to make sure that our bumper is going to realign when we put it back in place. Now what I'm going to do is just back these off. We're not going to take them out. We're just going to loosen them up, but leave them in place. Now we'll take an 18mm wrench and we'll just back our bolts off. Now this bolt is going to be an 18mm wrench and an 18mm socket. We just need to get that out of the way. In your hardware, you're going to set up your bolts, line them all up. You're going to have 2 that are the same size. You're going to have 1 that's longer. The one that's longer, we want to take a washer, and that is going to go into our lowest hole that goes into our lower portion of our frame. We're going to go from the outside in. Now you may have to take a rubber mallet and just get everything lined up. Just little light bumps and it'll go into position for you. And these can be a little tricky to line up as well. So you may have to bump this portion of your frame just to get it to line up. Yeah, there we go. On all of our hardware, we are going to be using Loctite. Now, in our instructions, it says you can use either blue or red. Today, we're going to be using the blue. We want to go ahead and get our bolts going through our upper portions of our mount. Give them a little tap. For this one, we did end up on the other side, having to get it in there part way and then thread it into place. And once we get it threaded all the way through, we can bring it over and we can kind of use our bolt to try and get it to wriggle into place. Now that we've got everything lined up and we have our 2 upper bolts in place, went ahead and pulled this bolt back out. We're going to need to take this spacer and run it into place. Now our kit is going to come with 2 different width spacers. It's going to come with this size, and it's going to have about 1 inch wide as well. So it's kind of whichever one is going to work better for you to fill in some of the gap, and it will draw down some. So this is just going to take up a little bit of the space to where it draws down. Now what I do here is kind of take a pair of pliers or something and just get it put into place. Little trick I just figured out, I do have my clip tool, and as you can see, it's holding the spacer. Now I can push that up in place, get my bolt ready, and just send that through. Now that I have everything in place, I'm going to get some blue Loctite on all of my bolts. We're going to follow that up with our flat washer and our lock washer and a nut. And just get those finger tight for now. Your shorter bolt in the kit is going to go right directly through the bottom and then come up. And in your kit, you're going to have what is called a handle nut, and it's just basically a square weld nut onto a piece of wire. You bend that to fit down in here, and what you do is you do your washer, your lock nut, your bolt, and then you get your blue Loctite on there, and you hold your handle nut down on there with your bolt pushed all the way up, turn your bolt, thread it onto your handle nut. Now we can come back through and tighten down all of our hardware to the specifications listed in our instruction manual. After you have it all torqued down, now you can come back through and get rid of your wires on your handle nuts. You can either cut these off, or you can just go back and forth, wiggle them until they pop right off. For our front plate, where we had to make our marks around our bolts, we just want to get that lined up with our marks. Get that just in place where we had those. Get all of those lined up, and then we can come back through and tighten them up. We have our base plate kit installed and torqued down. Everything looks good. Before we put our fascia on, we're going to move on to a few more things we have to do for our flat toe setup. Now that we have all of our flat toe components installed and put in where we want them, we're going to go back through, clean up all of our wires, and then we'll start putting our fascia back on in the reverse order that we took it off. And that was a look at our Roadmaster base plate kit for our 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500. I'm Scott with eTrailer. Thanks for watching.